got some. Whoop, down cold.
We'll get it right one day. But that day is not today. Hello and welcome back to the Foundation. You got the perfect on Monday nights. I kind of like this format.
We did this last Monday night.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is. This has been.
August the 12th.
But I won't say that. This has been an idea for a few weeks, and we finally decided to act on it. Instead of Tuesday night, since I got my people coming here before the professor comes and all that good stuff. So this works out perfectly. What do you think?
So far, so good.
So far, so good. And anyway, so yeah.
But it won't be no Fridays or Monday next. This is coming up, though.
Yep, because you're breaking my heart.
I'm going to Ohio and I ain't coming back.
Oh, you're coming back. Wait, you're coming back, right?
I don't know.
Oh no.
I live with my sister. She's got a basement. Got a bathroom. Ooh, yeah, all this shit.
Does Margaret know about this?
Nope. We'll be back.
Well,
She'll miss her church.
and her corn dog.
No, I don't know about that. She's not too crazy about corn dogs. I've never seen her eat one.
Well,
Now, if she called you sweet potato, that'd be another story.
Oh. That would be weird though. So we're going to be in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and we're on the road to Matthew 24. And David, I believe we have a transition.
Yes, sir. We are doing Matthew first, chapter 20. We'll be doing 17 through 28. Okay. Greatness and discipleship. So we're starting we'll be starting off with Jesus' prediction of his death and third prediction of his death and resurrection. Shortly before his triumphal entry into Jerusalem, Jesus predicted his passion for a third and final time. Since Jesus' humiliating death on the cross was such a stumbling block for so many people, each of the synoptic writers repeat continually the message that Jesus knew beforehand. He would die and face death willingly, and that the crucifixion was part of God's plan for the forgiveness of sins for all people. The idea of a suffering Messiah was strange to most Jews at the time, shown in part by the full reaction of the disciples to the passion prediction. According to Mark's gospel, James and John react to the passion prediction by seeking honor from Jesus when he is in his glory. Their selfish request shows that they were still thinking in terms of an earthly kingdom for Jesus and more preoccupied with greatness, fame, and glory. They had not yet taken to heart Jesus' repeated message that Christians' discipleship is really about service to others. Matthew's gospel lessens the negative image of James and John by depicting their mother, not the disciples themselves, as the one making the request. And you can see that in the Chosen. It's the mother that eggs them on.
Yeah.
Ask him. Didn't he say that if you ask anything in his name, he'll do it for you? Ask him.
Yeah.
And it was all stimulated from the point where when Jesus was asking disciples, who do the people say I am?
Oh yeah.
And then he asked him, who do you say I am? Then who do you say I am? And what did Peter say?
The Son of God.
It was the Messiah, the Son of God. So I think that's when he changed Peter's name to Simon.
Simon?
Simon to Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Which brings us to Matthew 20:17. That was a pretty good year, wasn't it?
2017?
2017. Oh, you think?
We had a good president in at that time.
Yeah. Didn't you have a riddle?
Well, I was going to use. Well, we're going to be doing Daniel and. Oh, I gave it away.
No.
Well, I'll have something for the next
For the next one,
Yeah.
okay.
next session. See what Dave thinks about what it says.
And I also have a riddle for him for the next session.
Not the same one you said before we started, did it?
No, it's a new one. It's a new one.
Okay. Jump on it, David.
Okay. Now Jesus was going up to Jerusalem and took the 12 disciples aside on the road and said to them, Behold, we are going up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man will be betrayed to the chief priests and scribes, and they will condemn him to death and deliver him to the Galileans, and to mock and scourge and crucify, and the third day he will rise again. So here's Jesus, the Son of God, knowing everything, telling his disciples what's going to happen, right, David?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, it's interesting. It says, in several instances, Jesus knowing their thoughts. David, could you imagine playing hide and seek with Jesus?
Well, it's not knowing their thoughts, he's knowing what the will of the Father is here.
No, it says that Jesus knowing people's thoughts. I think it was the Pharisees and the Sadducees.
But he has to, he knows his purpose was to come and die, though.
Yeah.
It didn't matter who the people were that was going to be the ones to do it to him. He just knew he just knew he was going to be doing this. You know, we read in last week about the plot to kill Jesus, and the Sanhedrin had gotten together, and Caiaphas, he was the high priest,
Yep.
said to them, you know nothing at all, nor do you consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, but not that the whole nation should perish. That brings back a episode of Star Trek. Sacrifice of one for the good of the many.
Oh. Yeah.
That's what he's saying. So Jesus will be the sacrifice of the one for the good for the nation of Israel. Someone of Star Trek knew this and just took it out of the Bible.
Well, there's, a lot of spiritual applications that you can take from almost anything, you know?
Yeah, and use it in a movie.
Yeah. Yep, and which will, you need to have spiritual lessons from different songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're continually adding to the list. Let's see. So here we have a list of songs. You see, anything can be made into a spiritual lesson. Like,
You just got to know your characters.
yeah, it's kind of like, have you heard of a tree that's crooked? Something something fell over it when it was smaller, and
It grew around
it
it.
had to grow around it. There's a spiritual application to that, David. Follow the light. A tree with no brain can figure that one out. Much less, some people that do have brains and can't figure it out. It's crazy. Follow the light. Anyway, you have anything else to add?
No, with what you're fixing to get into, in the next section of reading, where it brings up James and John. He was wanting to know about what their place could be.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Jesus told him he's going to die here.
Yeah.
But if James and John thinks he's going to come in, going to start a new kingdom, and it's like the transition said. I think it said that they was thinking more the temporal instead of the eternal.
Right.
True.
And this just went over their head.
Yeah.
It's right here, just went over their head.
Yep.
What you just read.
But again, could you imagine being there while it's happening and watch it happen in time? Whenever he died, do you think that they thought, okay, 3 days later he's going to be raised from the dead?
Well,
Do you think that the disciples actually thought that he was telling the truth?
If they thought Jesus was telling the truth, they'd been down there at the tomb waiting to see if he rose again. No, they weren't there. Matter of fact, the two women went down to anoint him, make him smell good and all that stuff. That's going down there because he was dead, not because he's going to be rose again. So they still think he's in the grave. This is the day he's coming out.
Yep.
So to them, death is death. Nobody's coming back.
Yeah.
And if anybody's going to raise him from the dead, Jesus would have had to been alive to raise him from the dead. So he'd have to himself be alive to raise himself from a dead spot. He raised a few others that had died. Like Lazarus. I mean, if Jesus isn't physically there to raise him, then he can't raise himself. That's kind of the way probably they're thinking.
Yeah. Okay.
So the power for a resurrection is gone when the person that can do the resurrecting is dead.
Right. Yeah.
They never realized what he'd been telling them, that he's going to rise again himself.
Yeah.
So that's what's so funny. It's just, well, it's over. Time to go home.
Yep. But what did it say? He will raise on the third day. He told them that. And they doubted. And remember, like we talked about last week, they at the the Great Commission, the disciples were the 11 disciples. What happened to the 12th?
Yeah.
Well, the 11 disciples were with them, but they doubted. They were with Jesus, just like I'm with David, but they doubted. Then, like you said, they got doubting Thomas, but this was after the fact of doubting Thomas.
I know he ain't got there yet, and I'm kind of raising questions that, how he started going into heaven and they're standing there in awe, and the angel, what are you in awe for? I mean, he was back 40 days with them. And I think they had a feeling that was going to be permanent. So when he started watching them go to heaven, that's why they were in awe.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So even the 40 days he came back and walked the earth after he rose again, they watched him eat and do all this other stuff, even while he was here, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe he's back. I mean, that's kind of like Lazarus, you know. He's back. But there he goes.
I'll have to tell you off camera, but yeah. Remind me, I got something funny to say. Anyway.
Oh, go ahead, Dave.
No,
Yeah, you can get that one.
Then the mother
Of Zebedee's sons,
came to
him with her sons, kneeling down and asking something from him. And he said to her, "What do you wish?" And she said to him, "Grant these two sons
of mine
may sit on
your right
hand and the other on your left in your kingdom." David, who are these sons? Why are they so? Why does Mama think they're so special? Because that's their mom, of course.
Anyway, but Jesus answered and said, "You do not know what you ask." David,
Yeah.
Look at me. I think that's the dumbest question in history that anyone could ask Jesus, the Son of God. I don't think it works that way. Because where is Jesus right now?
He's at the right hand of God.
He's at the right
hand
hand.
of God.
And you think this mom thinks that little Timmy and little Johnny are going to be no, that's that's interesting. That's interesting right there.
Well, the thing is, so far that you read in Matthew, it's kind of like Mama's got him by the ear, took him to Jesus and made him kneel down. Then she has to. They wouldn't ask him. She had to do the asking.
But so the answer is nothing. Now, well, are they talking about heaven?
I think. Well, since the mom's asking,
Or like a picture?
well, I think the way the mom's asking is she's thinking that Jesus is going to be a ruler on earth
Oh, that
In-
makes sense.
in-
That makes more sense.
in the near future,
Yeah.
and she wanted her two sons by his side.
To be ruling with him.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. That makes more sense.
But let's see.
Are you able to drink the cup that I am about to drink
And be baptized with the baptism
I am baptized with? They said to him, "We are able." Ooh.
And they don't know. They don't
Yeah,
know
go
about
ahead.
that- They don't know about that cup.
The cup being crucifixion.
Yeah, up here, right up here.
Yeah.
When he talks about him being handed over.
So he said to them,
You
"Will indeed drink my cup and be baptized,
with baptism that I am baptized with.
but to sit at my right hand
And my left,
is not mine to give, but it is for those for whom is prepared by my Father."
and guess what?
Little Johnny, little Timmy probably didn't make the cut.
Well, he knew the first part was what was going to happen to him.
Who?
Jesus, he told him,
Mhm.
"You will indeed drink my cup and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with."
Mhm. So there's a crucified.
John wasn't. But
Wait, you lost me there.
they would go through persecution.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
John died. He lived to be probably about 100.
Mhm.
He lived, and his last place was Patmos, an island out in the middle of nowhere. And So, yeah, they'd be going through all that persecution.
Verse 24.
And when the 10 heard it, they were greatly displeased with the two brothers. But Jesus called them to himself and said, "You know the rulers of the Gentiles, Lord, it over them, and those who are great exercise authority over them. Yet I shall not be so among you, but whoever desires to become great among you, let him be your servant. And whoever desires to be first among you, let him be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life and his life a ransom for many." So that moment was kind of like talking about what you're talking about, right? But he's talking about heaven,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
verse old.
Actually, you're to serve. That's what he's telling them.
Yeah.
If you want to be first, you got to serve.
Yeah.
So, and of course, they didn't serve one another. They all went on their own direction to take the gospel with them.
Right.
But they went to serve.
Which brings us to the Mark passage. Well, David, what does Mark say?
Okay, Mark 10:32 to 45.
That's all there is for Mark.
Wait a minute. Am I missing a page? All right.
Luke 18.
Something ain't right in my book here.
Let me see.
Well, ain't but three verses.
3.
Yeah.
Well, we'll straighten it out when we get there.
I can see what's going on now.
I'll show you when
Okay.
we get through reading this section in Mark.
Mm.
It says, now they were on the road going up to Jerusalem, and Jesus was going before them, and they were amazed. And as they followed, they were afraid. They were amazed and they were afraid. And then he took the 12 aside again and began to tell them the things that would happen to him. Behold, we are going up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man will be betrayed by the chief priests and the scribes, and they will condemn him to death and deliver him to the Gentiles. And they will mock him and scourge him and spit on him and kill him, and on the third day he will rise again. And James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came to him, saying, Teacher, we want you to do for us whatever we ask. And he said to them, What do you want me to do for you? They said to him, Grant us that we may sit on one on your right hand and the other on your left in your glory. Now that could mean an earthly kingdom and him being in his glory as a ruler on earth as well as even in heaven.
Yeah.
So you can take that either way. But
But Jesus took it, the heavenly kingdom.
no, that's just what they're saying. It's not
Yeah,
Jesus.
but
Jesus hadn't replied yet.
But keep on. Continue.
Jesus said to them, You do not know what you ask. Are you able to drink the cup that I drink, be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? They said to him, we are able. So Jesus said to them, you will indeed drink the cup that I drink, and with the baptism I am baptized with you will be baptized. But to sit on my right hand and on my left is not for me to give, but it is for those for whom it is prepared. And then he said, and when the 10 heard it, they began to be greatly displeased with James and John. But Jesus called them to himself and said to them, you know that those who are considered rulers over the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great ones exercise authority over them. Yet it shall not be so among you, but whoever desires to become great among you shall be your servant, and whoever of you desires to be first shall be the slave of all. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many.
So there was a couple of details in there, David.
It's almost like the other, except you leave the mother out.
Yeah.
That's true.
But Mark says that James and John, they're the ones that ask the question.
Yeah,
But Matthew said the mother asked the question.
yeah.
So
Was the
answer. Who asked the question?
Well,
No.
here's what the chosen did. The mother instigated or urged them to go ask him. She didn't ask him in the drama of the chosen, but she was kind of pushing him.
Mhm.
So, in a sense, they used her as a pusher instead of her asking it. So it was her idea, but she made them go ask.
Ah. Okay. Oh yeah.
So it took a little bit of, they've taken a little bit of both of them and put them together. Matthew and
Ah.
Mark. So it's kind of what they've done.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's the way I think that's the way they did it.
yeah, which makes sense. Yeah.
She didn't go, but she hounded him to death about it. Go ask him. Go ask him. Did he say whatever you ask him, his name, he'd give it to you?
Yep.
Go ask him. Go
There
ask
you
him.
go.
Push.
Yep.
Okay.
Luke 18, 31 through 34.
Okay, what I want to ask you, in yours, before we get to Luke,
Yes.
do you have a transition before you get to Luke 18?
The transition before.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, I do.
Well,
But it doesn't involve Luke 18. It's you know,
What does it say?
our transitions usually, the verses follow our transition.
Is it passing through Jericho toward Jerusalem?
Yes.
Oh.
See right here? There's what we got to finish, but it comes after this transition. This should have been here, and this should have been over there.
yeah.
So I was wondering if that's the case of yours.
Yep, mine's. Well,
We see mine's the updated one.
It must be. I found you get you confused me. You get over here. I get the end of Mark and looking for Luke, and there's a transition there. I said, "Where's Luke 18 at?" Well, it's over here after the transition. Wait a minute.
does that include Luke 18 or no?
No, you go back there and look at the verses
Yeah.
for the next transition, and Luke 18's not
Okay.
not in there. it starts at 35 over here, but not right here.
Yeah.
So this is still part of what we're transitioning into.
Right.
No, that's interesting.
It's still dealing with his third prediction, but
Yeah.
I don't, this is so short, I don't think it's gonna include James and John's petition to,
Uh-uh.
for them to sit in God's right and left hand.
Okay.
So you wanna knock this baby out?
I am.
Then he took the 12 aside and said to them, Behold, we are going up to Jerusalem, and all things that are written by my prophets concerning the Son of Man will be accomplished. For he will be delivered to the Gentiles, and will be mocked and insulted and spit upon, and they will scourge him and kill him. And and on the third day he will rise again. So you see, he told them that, hey, on the third day,
I'm going to reign.
He
Rose from the dead.
even
Rise from the dead.
he even goes back to the prophets,
Yep.
Isaiah and all them.
That's it.
But what happened? What's their reaction?
Mm-hmm.
but they understood
None of these things, Dave. Like what you said.
Just went over their head.
Yeah.
But they understood none of these things.
This
Saying was hidden from them, and they did not know the things.
which were spoken.
Well, see, that would prove when
David, were they willingly ignorant?
No, it was hidden from them.
In the Greek, that means what?
No, this was hidden from them. This wasn't. This is not ignorance. This is planned. They hide this from them. It's like when you go back to Matthew and Mark about James and John.
Yeah.
If this was hidden from them, they've got to be thinking that this is going to be an earthly kingdom.
That's true. That's true.
So what? The question is, why is he hiding it?
I don't know.
He's telling them for the third time. If it's hidden this time, was it hidden the other two times? I mean, this is usually the third time's a charm, but it's that. It's not the charm here. It's still hidden from them.
That's true.
What do you mean you're gonna rise again?
That doesn't make sense, does it?
But Jesus,
They were blinded by the lie.
Yep.
Yes, I think that song. Blinded by the light. Like a Jew, she rode again.
Yeah.
and you know, you can think about
The different,
from their
all 12 of the disciples' perspectives, right? You got 12
different personalities. You got 12 different people who might be playing on the phone, or I mean, you know, not paying no attention.
We know in Judas' case, you know, he thought too that Jesus was going to establish his own kingdom and get rid of the Romans.
Yeah.
That's it's one of his ideas. Yeah, it's floating out there. People think that. So he's thinking temporal on the same basis.
That's it. Well, David,
I guess we'll take a little break here, and we'll wet our whistle.
and we'll be right back.
Okay.
And we'll talk about
Interesting.
In the jungle, the quiet jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
The Quiet Jungle.
That's the way the song goes.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder who we're talking about.
I hope that is the one that goes with I'll have to pull a mine and see if it is.
Yeah. Stay tuned.